is loud. Steel drums clash, lightning fills the air. Won't sit silent, breathe despair. Tides turning, we bring the flame. Burn their system, break the game. Stand up, heads high, screaming tonight. Rights ain't paper, they burn but fight. Chains of their greed won't hold us long. Through their lies we'll prove them wrong. Constitution bleeding, pages unfurled. Freedom crushed by their darkened world. We're warriors, we're writing a new creed. No backing down, planting the seed. Stand up, heads high, screaming tonight. Rights ain't paper, they burn but fight. Chains of their greed won't hold us long. Through their lies we'll prove them wrong. Constitution, bleeding pages unfurled. Freedom crushed by their darkened world. We're warriors, we're writing a new creed. No backing down, planting the seed. Constitution bleeding, pages unfurled. Freedom crushed by the darkened world. We're warriors, we're writing a new creed. No backing down, planting the seed. Constitution bleeding, pages unfurled. Freedom crushed by the darkened world. We're warriors, we're writing a new creed. No backing down, planting the seed. They snatch the light from our homes at night. In shadows make real, hearts ignite. We stand as one, no more disguise. Their lies crumble, we'll rise. No more kids for cash. We scream, tearing apart their wicked scheme. Justice burns in our veins so fast. We'll fight till this nightmare's past.
Then he marches through the town, no fear, fighting for the freedom, it's crystal clear. Kids are not for sale, they ain't no prize. Corrupt workers better watch their lying eyes. CPS victims hunting down the truth, justice in their hearts, shouting from the roof. Kidnappers beware, we're on your trail. With a banjo tune we will tell the tale. The kids are our property, not for your greed. No cash for kids, justice we need. Families torn apart, we'll make a stand. Together we'll reclaim and free this land. Podcast whispers through the night so loud. Voices of the people breaking every shroud, exposing every trick, every wicked scheme. For our children's sake we will shake the ground. United we will fight till justice is found. No more tears, no more broken dreams. In the light together, our love redeems.
I'm just your average parent trying to do right by my kids. Never thought I'd have to, deal with something like this. It was a regular Tuesday afternoon. The kids' toys were scattered everywhere. Then there was a knock at the door. My heart sank when I saw who it was.
Hello, I'm from Child Protective Services. We've received a report and need to inspect your home.
I didn't know what to do. They wanted to come in, look around, talk to my kids. My hands were shaking. I felt like I was doing something wrong even though I knew I wasn't. But then, I remembered something I'd read online about knowing your rights. I took a deep breath and said, "I'm sorry, but unless you have a warrant, I can't let you in." The CPS worker looked surprised. They weren't used to parents knowing their rights. It wasn't easy, but I stood my ground. I protected my family's privacy that day. Remember, when CPS knocks, know your rights. It can make all the difference.
All right, everybody, welcome to CPS Victims Hunting Justice, this breaking news division. It is Friday night, and we are here. Don't forget, we got the chat that's right here, on our right here. And, I got the ladies in the house with me tonight. We're going to talk about some things, about some stuff, and about some other things and some stuff. And if you guys got questions, then we want to get your questions and get your thoughts. What do you guys got? What's on your mind tonight? What kind of things is CPS doing to you that we need to address? And if that's what we need to do, that we need to answer them, then that's what we need to do. So let's get this thing going on, and let's let the girls say hello for a minute here first. Let's get them on, ladies.
What's up?
What's
Oh,
up?
hello, hello. Oh, look at the little. We're the beautiful people.
Hello, ladies. There you go.
We are
Hello.
here. Like, I'm here.
Hey,
Morning.
Do you hear my? I have the fan going in the background. Do you hear it?
The fan, no, but I hear a lot of music. Is that me, or is that the music for the
No, that's-
show?
Yeah, that's the show music.
Oh, okay.
Me.
That just tests the show.
Danielle, you sound good for once in your life.
It's raining.
I think
It's like
it's all breaking up. It's ridiculous.
But you can't hear the fan, so the fan's all right. It's
No.
going. You don't hear
Oh,
it.
no,
I mean, I
she's
can
talking
hear
about my
fine,
reception. Usually, I can't. Usually, my reception's pretty bad. Like, yeah.
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 What's going on?
So, let me tell you, Darren, I was reading something on my show earlier about parental rights, right? And
Yeah.
it was the quiz, all right? And it was from parentalrights.org. Well, when I tell
Okay.
you, I felt stupid when I was reading it because we 4 questions in, it's like, wow. You wouldn't think I'll have to go pull up get out the phone that it's on, but it's just
What is
some of those
What was it?
questions, huh?
What was the website? Parentalrights.org?
Parental rights. It was parentalrights.org, yes, and it was a parental rights quiz. It's like a parental rights Quizlet, true or false Quizlet, I think. And the questions, and I understand in different states things are different, but questions that you would think that weren't that were false or true are the opposite, and it was it just wasn't the answers that we've been perceived to know. You know what I'm saying?
So where do
And
let's see, state by state?
It's a parental rights true or false quiz. You might,
Rights.
because I forgot I saved it to my phone.
I got it right.
Yeah, and it's I think it's okay, and it's like a colorful red, white, and blue, I think, or something.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of kids on it right now. Let me see. And pull it up,
Oh.
everybody.
Are the questions about school and medical or anything?
There we go.
Think-
Featured question.
Um,
So download the print version. Okay, here we go. So, true or false?
yeah, that's it.
A mother in Minnesota was told that she could not access the medical records of any of her children 11 years old or older, or discuss her child's health with the physician without obtaining her child's permission. What's your thoughts?
And apparently in Minnesota, regardless of the age, that is because of the age, regardless of any age. I think. Maybe I'm wrong,
Wow.
but that's
So, Brenda, what did you, before we go get this answer, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, all I can say is I lived in Minnesota for about 6 or more years. Well,
hey, Devin.
This
What
is
was
the
it
first
like
I'm hearing
Brenda,
about
when you see? And there's
So can a
And
child that's
it's
18
weird.
can they shut their parents down from getting access to their health stuff? True or false? What do you think, Brenda?
Brenda.
speaking of it, we had some problems with the medical clinic up when we lived in Minnesota. It's kind of
Alright.
interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact, there was a whole thing that happened. I went in there, my blood pressure had dropped really low, and because we're parents that like to take our kids to the doctor whenever they're feeling sick or something like that. We're just overly protective, right? So the people got used to us coming down there, and then when my blood pressure dropped so low, the nurse didn't even believe it, and she's putting the blood pressure cup on me, going, tapping something must be wrong with it, and couldn't believe that I could have this blood pressure that low, and yeah, it was something weird going on. at that clinic. I just can't explain it, but I never had any problems with, CPS back then.
All right. So that being said, do you think that they can stop the parents from knowing their medical information? True or false?
I mean,
Brenda?
I would think that no, but
Let's
Wait
ask
a minute.
Brad. Hey,
Brenda.
Brad.
I'm gonna need you to repeat the question.
All right. Here's the question again. And Brad, pay attention to this because I want you to answer this as well. Let me go in on this here. Let's see. Oh, Chris, I'm sorry about that. Hopefully he's doing well. We've been praying for him for sure. Parental rights. All right. So the question is this: true or false? A mother in Minnesota was told that she could not access the medical records of any of her children 11 years old or older, or discuss her child's health with the physician without obtaining her child's permission.
With her child's permission. No, I never heard of anything like that
Yeah.
in my life.
So, true or false?
Really?
Well, I say that's completely ridiculous.
All right. So, false for you, Danielle. What are you saying?
I would say. I mean, I already know the answer. So
Oh, yeah, that's right. You've already taken the
can't-
quiz. All
You
right.
know,
yeah. Well, I got to the first 4 in the show, so everybody they might know the answer.
Until,
But
it's what you
not
do
really.
until they turn 18.
Right. Well, that's what we would
they
think.
what?
It
should
till
be.
then. Right?
And then, or is it 18 or
They
is
said
it
something about-
21?
No, it'd be 18, but you would think that so. But remember, each state could be different, and that's what's weird. Like when I was asking those questions, I felt stupid. Like I was like, "Whoa!"
So,
Because that question said 11 years or older, right?
right. The question says that if you, the kid is 11 years or older, the parents need the permission of the child to access the
Brad.
medical records.
Welcome back, Brad. Nice to see you.
I'm assuming that it's true, he says. But did she have custody, and what was the medical issue? Well, we're only given what we got here. That's all we got. Was the question here?
Yeah.
For the right
We're
seats.
asking. We're taking a
So,
quiz.
Brenda, you got one. You say false, right? You say till 18. Brad says it's true. We're going to do Brad and Brenda challenge here. Let's see the answer here. The answer is it's true. Many states have laws empowering doctors to deny parents medical records of their minor children, especially in areas of sexuality and reproduction.
Really?
In Alabama, the minimum age is 14. In Minnesota, these laws take effect when a minor child, regardless of age, consents to certain treatment, exempting their records from disclosure.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
So they said, and what did they say about Minnesota on that one? Was it the age or no?
It's 14,
There was nothing about age on there.
right. 14 is for what Minnesota is.
Okay.
Oh, no. Alabama,
Wow.
the minimum age is 14. Then it just goes on to say, in Minnesota, blah, 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 blah. They go sit in it and,
Okay.
whatever.
That is crazy.
All right, let's see this next question.
It's
Ready?
crazy.
Next question.
So each state is
Yeah,
different.
you know what? That's what we did. That's what the Civil War was all about.
Wow.
So, Brenda, you ready?
Sorry,
True
next
or false?
question.
Yep. True or false? In most states, you will be denied access to library information about your children, including the titles of books, which are accumulating late fees. Brad, pay attention. In most states, you will be denied access to library information about your children, including the titles of books, which are accumulating late fees.
I guess I don't know where these questions are coming from.
Well, it's right here on the parentalrights.org website. But
Really? Okay.
it's just
Okay.
simple. True or false, in most states, you will be denied access to the library information about your children, including titles of books, which are accumulating late fees.
False.
All right. Brad, what do we got, buddy? In most states, you will be denied access to library information about your children, including the titles of books, which are accumulating late fees. What's Brad say? Hey, Sam.
Brad, you still here?
Damn
Sam
it.
Sam, I've been waiting to hear from you. You
Where's
guys know who
Sam?
Sam is. We all know who Sam is. Sam and I have been together for a long time. Here's Sam right here. Look at this. This is when she was first beginning her journey. This is when she started her business. God, this was like over a year ago. Here was her. This was her outline of what she was doing and everything. But Sam is evolved into quite a machine and a powerhouse in this movement, and she needs to get in here and do some stuff with us. But I'm sorry, Brad. If you're still here, Brad, we'll give you a couple more seconds to answer this. Parentalrights.org asks this. In most states, you will be denied access to library information about your children, including the titles of books, which are accumulating late fees. Brenda says that's false, right, Brenda?
Yeah.
Okay. And Brad, we're waiting on you for an answer.
It's
What was that?
where'd he go?
What happened?
It's false. If anybody else wants to jump in here for Brad, you're more than welcome to. But now we're just going to go on the Brenda challenge, I guess. So there we go. Sorry, man. There he is. All right, Brad.
there
Here's
he
the
is.
question. Brad's back. Everybody, Brad's back.
Brad is back.
Brad is back. That's the new show that's out now. It's right after Brenda's back. Brad, the question is this. In most states, you will
He
be
said
denied
true.
access to library information. All right, so he says true. All right. True. Many states have laws that protect the right to privacy in the children 9 years old and older, so parents cannot see internet records or materials that have been checked out. Public libraries encourage parents on their website to supervise their children's use of the internet, but do not release information on what your child views on a library computer.
What the hell?
Why does that make any sense?
So the library has access to it, but not the parents.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, right?
Well, the thing is that would get back to that. My friend ended up finding a place over there in Gainesville, Florida, as the library was connected to the Partnership for Strong Family. Yeah, and yeah, weird stuff going on, and you know. I had all these people in Florida looking out for the Partnership for Strong Family. I couldn't find anyone until recently, just mistakenly, and even the library is called Partnership Library. That's kind of scary. So, I mean, what's going on with this? Because then there's like a public fact there, right? And I mean, everybody heard recently they're doing these they're able to get all that information out of these faxes or whatever. They can do whatever with it, sending it to China or whatever. I can't remember what that was about, but still, this lady is sending out faxes and printing out stuff, personal stuff, and here the partnership is also using the same machine.
Wow.
So that was kind of weird.
Crazy. All right, I'm going to do last one right here, guys, and I'm going to pick one of these three. They're all interesting questions, but this one's good. True or false, Brenda? As a parent, you have the right to visit your children on public school grounds, for instance, to have lunch with your child. As a parent, you have the right to visit your children on public school grounds, for instance, to have lunch with your child.
I'm going to go ahead. You can tell I've been out of the school system for quite some time. And besides, I was homeschooled, but with the way these questions have been going, I'm going to say that's true.
All right, true. Okay, Brenda, this is a tiebreaker too. Brad, true or false? As a parent, you have the right to visit your children on public school grounds, for instance, to have lunch with your child. Okay, I gotta go for now, but I might pop back in later. See you guys later. Yeah, it's always said it's true as well. All right, cool, Brad. Thanks for playing. We'll give you the what's the runners-up prize here? Next when we lost Danielle, right? Where'd she go? She's out. Sam, you want to? Hey, Sam, you want a link to the show? You want to come in for a second? Let's get Sam in here.
Did anybody that see that show we had with Priscilla? Came on my show the other day. Now
I
she's
listen.
out in Colorado.
Is she?
She liked to be on that show. She'd like to come back. She was saying as a guest.
Yeah. I was listening to it. I thought it was. I don't mean to be like I and me, but it's funny because they're all the same names of the players and my situation. So I'm like, man, they're really uh
Yeah, I mean, they've been putting people in our path. Like it just, like I
okay.
said, I mean, God's leading the way of this army. I can tell you that
That's
because
right.
it's like amazing. Like I decided to walk down the street like this way today, and then I run into this lady, and it's she has some really story. She has a big story, but at least God forbid that her sister is in relationship with her and she is helping her with the children. Right now, I guess her sister has custody, but she's able to. They went go swimming today, so I thought that was great. But she still wants to fight against the injustice of what they were doing when CPS came into her life. I mean, the kids were afraid that her mom played this music that was religious or something like praising the Lord. That if they
Right.
played it too loud, that CPS would come and take them away from her.
Oh, get out,
Crazy.
man. Sam's Healing Journey. Sam, you want me to send that? Do you want me to send this link to at Sam's Healing Journey? Um, is that where you want me to send it? Where do you want me to send this to you? Well, I guess that's Sam's Healing. You know what, Sam? I'm gonna put it right here. I'll put it right here in the chat, and you can. Oh, okay, all right. I already have my email open, so I can do
Hey,
it.
Darren, did you see the video I did? Hunting for justice, victims
I
hunting
did.
for justice.
Did you do a
See,
new
I
one from
didn't.
the other day, or is this a new one?
I sent you a little clip that I put on
Yeah, but is this from the other day, or
TikTok.
is this right new? Because you did one not too long ago, also.
Were you
So
talking to Sam?
I'm talking to you, right?
Uh, God forbid. It's been a long day.
Who
No,
is
what I'm saying is, now wait a second. Let's back it up here.
the one I was just talking to me?
I thought so, but I mean, there was like you also were like trying to communicate with Sam as well, so you got to give me that. Um,
Well, yeah,
so
we were
okay,
talking, right?
again, I didn't come on here knowing it was going to be 20 questions. I'm just kidding. um, no, but I sent you a few things, Darren, because like I don't mind if y'all want to share some of the pictures that I have or some of the videos. I mean, that way the more we connect with each other, the more like views we can get and the more people are going to become aware of what's this girl doing, what show is she on, and then bringing them over to CPS Hunting Justice and or CPS Breaking News. I mean, that. I mean, I think that I like the CPS Victims Hunting Justice. I think that says it all right there. You know,
That's who we are, right? Like that's who
right?
we are. That's and the whole idea is the unity. Like this is showing that a group of us that we can be all from different walks of wherever. Fat, skinny, beard, bald, girl, boy, white, black. It doesn't matter. Whatever we are, you know what? We're all parents, or we're all kin or children of people that have been affected by the systems, as well as the children that have grown up now. Like we have a lot of foster kids that are of age, and like they're coming out and they're wanting to be on this channel with us. Our friend Bo Rupert. Now we're teaming up with the Angry Citizen. So we're going to start dragging the sheriffs into this because he's a big proponent for the sheriffs.
Because that's the point, right? It's constitutional violations every way you look at it. I mean, in everybody's case, I can guarantee there was constitutional violations. Okay, of your rights to parent your children for one thing, and then I mean, how many people out there had criminal cases that came along with the CPS? Probably everyone. Am I correct about this or no?
I would say that 70% definitely have a criminal case that led into CPS. Is that what you
Right,
mean?
right. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you got in trouble by Johnny Law, and then Johnny Law, because of you getting in trouble, brought CPS into your life.
right.
Uh, because I'll tell you what, I will never forget when they called CPS. Now, I never even knew about CPS. I didn't know it. I mean,
Right.
what I knew was if you had CPS involved in your life, then you were a bad person. Like that was my mindset. So when I was in the police car and they had arrested me falsely for what they did, and it was a surprise to me that they did, and the guys, he said something, he gets on his radio and he's like, yeah, we got blah, 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 blah. He's like, and we're going to need a 283 or, like some number combination. And I knew at that moment, I knew what he said. Even though I didn't know, I knew that those numbers, what he was talking about and how he said it, I knew that meant something to do with Child Protective Services. I just wasn't sure. And my stomach flipped. Absolutely twisted. And sure enough, it wasn't even this point of being arrested. It was like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And at 8 o'clock the following morning, CPS was at our front door. 3 cars full of CPS people, 3 or 4 Burt police cars. Like they were all ready and they were coming. And that was really a tough day. But it makes you sick. When you hear that sound. But yeah, the police brought them. So how many people, like you just said, Brenda? How many? Like yours was your situation too. Like the crime brought them in, and then the crimes aren't even as bad as what. So.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing with my kids. I mean, they literally went to the house like for hours. They were beating on the door, threatening the children that they were going to bust it down. I mean, this is the sheriff, my husband, running against 3 deputies and a CPS worker. Okay. So, come to find out, it's just like, whoa. And my son, my little boy, like, he didn't have any delays and he knew what that sheriff looked like because he had been out the house. Like I said, I put that video up not too long ago of this was like back before the kids were taken. It was in the courtroom and you can see the sheriff's son, the county attorney, and they're in the hallway, and he came up like on me, Chris, and Sage, like like in a bullying manner. And he's like saying, "What the fuck?" And the thing is that we knew when we had walked by that he took a picture of my daughter from behind of her behind her. And so we walked by again and Chris started, filming at that point. And I just wonder why they were always so aggressive towards us. But come to find out, they're seeing the same thing on the bulletin that they saw in Maine is that makes them believe that you're some type of threat. It doesn't matter if you are or not. It's it's whoever they entrust in these bulletins like they're freaking gold or something.
Yeah.
And they're not established in a court of law. So how's that working out for anyone at this point? How's it working out for the cops, for the country, when everything's going to dang hell right now? Because our children have been taken, and it's like I say, it just reminds me of the Bible when all this horrible stuff was going on, and God brought the floods and everything else. I mean, it's just like, wow,
Yep. It's crazy. It's freaking, and God is here. I wish we had Inez with us tonight. Maybe I could get her in here too. Well, I mean, we're getting. Let's see here. Sam must have sent it to here. I'm looking for it, Sam. I don't know where you sent it. What email? I sent you an email too with the link on it. There you are. I got you, Sam. Okay, I'm going to reply to this one, Sam, and I am going to go ahead and give you the link, and you can come on in. Man, I'm so excited that Sam's here. But Brenda, you're absolutely right. And I want to discuss that information that I found because that's very strange. What I found last night.
Yeah, because you're telling me things I didn't even know about my own husband. So this is kind of weird to me.
Right. But yeah, I'm excited. I hope we can get Sam to to jump in here, and I know she's been busy and she does things all the time.
See,
I know that's
actually, my son's over here tonight because he's working 12-hour shifts at the hospital, and
God. He's
that's why I didn't get on earlier.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't realize that we were even on. So don't worry, you didn't miss anything. But doctors, man, thank your son for being in that profession because, I talked to my brother, and that's a profession it's a dying profession, because people don't want to commit that much time to that, to becoming a doctor anymore. And it's getting harder and harder to find good quality doctors. Like my brother says, it's
Tell you, he's working at the emergency room, and this like 27-year-old girl like has, I think she's Hawaiian or something like that. He said has TB, and now my son is afraid he's got TB. I swear to God, he's starting to get symptoms and stuff, and it's like, oh my goodness, that's not good.
Hey, go see a doctor.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that's
Right?
tough. Wow.
And so, yeah. Well,
Well,
these
not about good care,
and it was kind of weird. And that, like I said, the way I met that girl the other day, down the road, it come to find out my son had seen her at the emergency room, and it was like everything was coincidence. This girl couldn't believe it. I was looking at her paperwork, and here's got my son's name on it. And I'm like, I'm going to say anything at first. I'm like, oh my God, my son's probably going to kick my butt if he knows that mom's going around. God knows who she's finding, But it ended up working out because my son, they were trying to put this girl or this lady's son that's like about to turn 17 into a mental institution. And they had gone to the emergency room. I think somebody said there was a chance that somebody was wanting to commit suicide, whatever it was. Apparently somebody had been telling lies in the family, is what I gather. All this happened. Well, my son was about to just go with whatever it said on the paper. He says, I'm just following the paper trail, and it says this is the way it is. And his mom was there, the kid's mom was there, and she was like, oh no, there is nothing wrong here. There's no reason that you would be putting my son there. And so it's almost like my son saved this kid from going to one of these mental institutions, and they were trying to I don't know, Baker Act this girl as well. And she's perfectly capable of taking care of herself. It's just like very strange circumstances that if somebody they want to run around saying I love the Lord or something like that, it's almost like they target people like this, like let them practice what they practice what you preach, or I don't know. It's like people want to preach the Lord, let them do it. As long as you make it in your way.
I'll be done in 2. Okay, I'll send you the link.
Okay.
All right.
I want to talk to you first before.
Yeah, go ahead. Hey, Brenda, carry on for a second, will you?
Okay.
No,
So anyways, not only that, I've been talking to Priscilla for a little bit as well, or texting back and forth because she's got an interesting story. Is that, oh my gosh, she just has babies, and one of the babies she had was taken directly from the hospital, and they were making accusations that she and the babies, both her babies, she has like a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old, and they had already took the older one. It's saying that her mom had, and she says she didn't have syphilis, and they had no freaking evidence that this even existed in any of these this family. So, hey, Darren, Danielle's saying she can't get back in. I don't think Darren can hear me. Hey, Darren, can you hear me? I think he's messing with the sound. Well, anyways, I think Darren is trying to do something, and I don't know what. So I can't, since I'm doing it on the phone, I can hardly see who's in the chat. I'm sorry for not I wonder if I could make this bigger. Let me see. Oh no. No, it doesn't go bigger for me on my phone. In fact, I think it went smaller. Let me see.
All right, sorry about that. I'm back.
Okay, Darren, I just want to say Danielle says she can't get in.
Yeah, I don't even see her in the back room here. I'll send her a link. Yeah, we can get her here.
Send her a link. I wonder if maybe I should send her a link.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. She should be all set. I don't understand why she even needs a link because she's an admin.
All right, let me
where the
go
hell
out. Let me go out for a minute, and I'll see if I can get it because I'm on the phone. Hold on.
Yeah. So this is kind of weird here. While you're doing that, this from let's see here. It was from Facts Over Lives. No charges for me, no drug tests, and DFSC said parents don't do drugs. But to get your son back, I will have to take drug tests and strictly abide by their safety plan. That's bullshit. Why? You didn't do anything wrong. Why are you being penalized? Why do you have to go and do something to put your life out of order to prove to who? Who the hell are you trying to prove anything to, Facts Over Lives, right? Who the hell are they to say you need to prove to us that you're this, or that? It makes no sense. I say this all the time. How come to get in the military? You need to take one drug test, and then there'll be a random one throughout your career. But you get one drug test to do in the military, and that's it. You know, like when you sign up. But you have to be a parent. You got to get hair follicles. You got to do drug tests. You got to do urine screens. You got to do this, that, and this, that, and this, that, and all of this rigmarole. And then 3/4 of the time, they're not even giving you your kids back. Why? Why are you getting multiple hair follicle tests? First of all, hair follicle tests don't show you what's current in your system, so they're no good because they're trying to get the current thing. There's like a 3 or 4 day lag that they have, and then these things go back 6 months. So why are they continuously giving these hair follicle tests to people? They already see what's in their system. It's ridiculous. It's an invasion of privacy. It's disgusting. It takes the time out of your day. It can ruin your career the way that they make you do these things. You know, they just get to randomly call up like you're on probation and say, hey, look at my, go take a urine screen today by 2:00 at this place that's, 30 miles out of your freaking way. So you got to call your boss, tell your boss that you got to go to this urine screen thing. Of course, you're going to do it because it's for your kid. And in the meantime, your boss is sick of this stuff because they're not married to this stuff. They're not committed to this stuff. They can give 2 shits about you and your kid. So you do this 3 or 4 times, you lose your job. And for what? You're already not doing drugs. You've proved this stuff to them. And for what? It's bullshit. Sam is in the house. Let's see Miss Sam here. She can add to the stream. Sam, how are we doing?
Hey, Darren.
How's everything been?
Good. I've
Good?
gotten a lot of feedback on the affidavit.
Oh, good. That's real good. I mean, I don't want to say it, but it seems like this thing's flowing like lava. It's just, it's we're going to be overflowed with affidavits, which is amazing, and that's good stuff. I know that on my end, I've got pretty much done that next phase of what my end was, so that's cool. We'll be hitting that too. So
The only question I can't answer is, how does it help close cases? I told everybody that it does, and to stay tuned for specific details on that.
I guess
Gunner's supposed to be prepared.
I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything that's inaccurate or giving people false hopes or whatever. The thing is it doesn't necessarily, I guess this is the way to say it, it doesn't necessarily close. Well, it does, because it does the void ab initio. It's it's banging off of that. What it does is, if everything is as planned and goes the way that it's supposed to go and all that, what happens is, because your child is deemed a federal witness now and is pertinent to witness protection in a case. Therefore, they're tampering with a witness. Therefore, your kid needs to come home. Now, once your kid comes home and all that, you can deal with the void ab initio and those things. And that's, I guess, in a sense, how the closure will come through a void ab initio, and the federal witness protection rights or whistleblowers rights. So that's how it will go. It's not necessarily like they're going to say case closed. You still have legwork to do, but it's going to lead you in that direction. And most importantly, if everything goes the way that we've seen it, looked at it, and planned it, your kid's going to be home. So I mean, who cares if it's still open, right? As long as your kid comes home, then hallelujah. So
Absolutely.
that's the answer I can give for that. I know Gunner's not here, and I'm sure he's got a whole nother storyline for that that he would explain. But that's the best way that I can see, and the easiest way to answer that for that.
So that's the answer to parents with closed cases.
Well, I think that's the answer with any of the parents. It doesn't matter where their case lies. It's kind of like, look, you are getting your kid marked under a witness protection. You're being put in as a witness to a case stating that CPS is doing things unconstitutionally. So you're not. The way that we designed this was that you can go ahead and take this case and run it as your own, because it's not a class action. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
we're not trying to do everything everybody's doing the same way. So take this case and take out the parts about Gunner and his family, insert yours, and you know what I mean, and use that as your template to get you into the federal case and you to go in and fight this same fight. I think that's what the intentions were for this, or are. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what Gunner's plans are now and how he plans on these things, because he's so excited. He gets going, and you're like, whoa, where are we going with this? What direction? Up,
Sharon
down,
has
left,
to
right.
translate for me because Gunner, he goes off in a different direction, and I'm still hanging on
Right.
to the logs. But I had one video 2 days ago that got 15,000 views, and what I was saying and sharing is that this isn't like a magic piece of paper that you turn in and then hand to your kids. It's just a tool that can be very effective for you to still do the work.
Right, and there's no guaranteeing, it's not 100%, because you don't know how the judges are going to rule. You don't know. I've been advocating for the void ab initio for years. I've known, and you know what? I think the only problem with that is that we all just need to get balls and just go and do it. That's the thing. That's the scary part of all this is, if with the void ab initio, it doesn't need to be adjudicated. So all you need to do is, realistically, is fill out like I do in my pamphlet that I've had for years, that I made. You send a letter to the CPS, you write your affidavit, you go, you file it in the court, you take that paperwork, you go to the sheriff, because now you have a filed case in the court that says that this is a void action, and you go to the sheriff and you say, look, they stole my kid illegally, and this is my proof, this is my voided documents, and they're legal and legit, verified by the clerk of courts, and go get my kid. But what's scary is, you don't know what's going to be on the other side of that. You don't know if they're going to arrest you. You don't know if they're going to come at you. And, what good are you going to be if they shoot you? You know what I mean? Then now you just ruined that for your child. You know what I mean? And chances are good it's going to be in their vicinity. So now you just gave them more trauma, so you want to be careful with all those things. But with this, I think this is pretty solid. We spent a lot of time writing this so that it wouldn't affect people in a harsh way. There's a lot that we did so that it wasn't too aggressive and too much for people to consume. So you think differently?
Well, no, I agree. I think it's a good secret.
Where are you, Sam?
They're
Very
not
nice.
prepared for it, So,
Right. Well, that's the thing. I think it's that other scared. It's that nervousness. It's that I'm jumping into something here, and it's hard. It's hard.
CPS, CPS isn't expecting parents to know this or do this. They're not
Right.
They're not prepared. So,
But don't you think as a parent, it's hard? You've been in this. Well, I've known you since this happened to you, and you've known me I think right about the same time. And
Mhm.
how many things have you tried to jump into that everybody guaranteed you it's going to work, and that you'd get your kids back, and go to the post office and mail a stamp and get a letter and make your own court. And there's been so many in my 5 years of being here. There's been so many things that have come out that have proven to be false. that, and it sucks. Or how many advocates have done the same thing where they're like, oh, well, we got these affidavits and we're bringing them to Washington and they're going to do this, this, and this. Except for we're really doing this, like we're really doing what's going on here. That's the difference. I know that for a fact, So I don't know what your thoughts are on that and what people have done and where you're at now. But what are your thoughts?
Well, an example I give is how Gunner has that document with all 50 states training guides for their CPS investigators, employees, and how he went through it and highlighted for everybody the places where like they're basically committing treason and stuff.
Yeah.
And I like that example because it shows how much work Gunner and Sharon and everybody has put into this. And it shows that, like, forget ourselves for a second. Like, just look at Gunner and Sharon's case. Like, that in itself can make huge impact for everybody also. If they can prove that CPS is corrupt in all 50 states. Like, that's huge.
Right. I mean, there is a bunch of cases out there right now that are, very, very similar, if not pretty much the same. And this could just be the flood, the brick, like the little stone that falls out of the wall and just starts making waves. Or maybe someone else's case. You know what? The way I see it is, who cares whose case, who does it, whatever. As long as someone gets our freaking kids home, that's all that matters. I don't, I'll follow, whoever, get them in here. We need them, like if they've got something going on that they know is going to work and they can, then man, it's going to be, that's it. Like that's what we need to do. We need all, that's the whole concept of what we're doing here. Like we all need to be together. If someone else's idea is better, the only reason we know that it's better is because we're all together and doing this. Like that's what we all need to be. Like if someone's got something to add, well, we don't know this if we're not all together. This doesn't work if we can't be together as a solid group and put this stuff together and be, be something to move.
The last thought I had on that is I think I heard flooding the court, everybody filing a federal lawsuit, flooding the court. If I heard that accurately, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's, start just because then we'll jam them up, and if it's nothing but their CPS stuff, it's going to be awesome. Well, it can't be CPS stuff because that goes around Rooker Feldman, but or it runs right into it. But
I think that's a great way to unite and get attention and to make a stand.
Yeah, they'll see. You want to see, Sam. There's millions of us that have been affected by CPS. And if we even took a quarter of those millions, and we can get them all to come together and to show their stance as one, man, we would be something. Like we could literally change the flow of how the United States even works and runs because there's so many of us. Like there's so many of us that we could literally sway elections and sway votes and businesses. Like all of that stuff. It's crazy to think that way. I mean,
I tried to imagine a world without the judges, without the dependency court judges. What would CPS do? And it just seems to me like they would crumble. Like without those judges, I can't imagine what CPS would do. Like they might have to do right, I would think.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. And why, if they're supposed to be sticking their neck out and their hearts and all of that stuff for the families, then why aren't they doing it? Why is there so many of them that know that this is corruption and that they're doing wrong? Why are they still there? And why aren't they coming around and, coming around off the table and saying, no, this is wrong and I don't want to do this? Why aren't these people doing that? That's the question I have. That's the question that I yell out to them every night when I know they're watching me. Why don't you, yell and tell me why?
I've had parents these past 2 days ask for the affidavits who didn't have their children removed. Like they experienced trauma and were violated, just from the investigation or just the in-home safety plan.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of people.
Sam, are you safe and okay? Because it's making me nervous. You're looking all around like there's something like sneaking up on you.
I am safe and okay. There's
Okay.
mosquitoes flying around me, and I don't want them to get me
All
in a
right.
bug.
Cool. All right.
I'm sorry. I'm outside in Florida.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Those things will take you away. Those bugs. Those bugs are ginormous. They're
I'm
scary.
sorry.
Yeah. They sound like it. This sounds like an airplane. You know, when they're coming in, it's like, "Arr," you
You
know.
can feel the wind move, start to move.
So, other than that, Sam, when are you? I see that you're doing some things with Sharon. So that's nice. At least you're getting out there. But I mean, you know, your invitation is still wide open here. If you get your own show and get yourself back out there, and you know, whenever you're ready for that, we have a spot for you. That's for sure.
Thank you.
So whenever you're ready for that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I know she's doing healing, and so I didn't know if that canceled me out, but she said no.
no, absolutely not.
That,
We can't have enough of that. You know, like we need that's probably like looking ahead, looking down the line of if this thing really worked out in the perfect world and does work out in the perfect world. That's like the number one thing that we need is people, because people don't realize that they're not getting back their 3-year-old daughter. They're not getting back they're not getting back the same child that that was gone. And that part sucks because you're going to have, first of all, I know, but, and I know the psychology and how it works, but the letdown alone of just, you know, like you want to go give your child a hug, you know, like you're having this vision of this wonderful, like run at each other and hug each other and all of this moment and jump up in your arms and have an amazing, you know, like all of this stuff. And then boom, you know, like they're like, hey, what's up, Debbie? You know, like, or whatever. And, you know, they're not talking to you, you know, the way that they were. The moment's not as emotional for them, or they're angry. I'm assuming that that's probably the number one feeling that you have to deal with your child is probably an anger issue. Am I right about that, do you think?
Yes. Along with bad, you know, habits. They're coping skills that they've had to create to, you know, to survive. And when they come home, they might have some really bad habits.
Right.
But we have to step back. I think as parents have to be healed and able to focus on our kids, because I'm sure they've picked up really bad habits to survive, and we can't be mad or judge them or be harsh with them.
Right.
So
no, we cannot. You know,
all
we
I
can't
can
blame
think is for the parents to be healed themselves. So whatever their kid does bring home to the table, you can focus on them and what they need.
Right. Are you doing any one-on-one family stuff, Sam? Like, are you doing any sort of are you doing any sort of that stuff right currently, or are you looking in the future to get back in there and do the making stuff going?
I'm redirecting my focus back to healing. I found out my kids had been adopted like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And it was grieving all over again, and that heaviness all over again. And I saw where Connie Rulegade had a parent advocate certification class, and so I jumped into parent advocating. But that's my purpose is healing. Like, I know that. So I'm shifting back to healing.
Okay, good. I mean, that's you know, that's what your calling was. Like, that's where you went to. You were unselfishly trying to help others heal before you yourself were even healed. Like, your kids were still fresh out the door, and you were trying to help others that had been in this for a while. You know, like, so like that's commendable by you. But you never took time for yourself, and maybe that's what you needed with the going into the advocacy thing. Is like maybe that was the time. You know, like just gave yourself a step away to be like, no. This is my calling, and this is where I am supposed to be, is over here. So I need to get my shit back and let's do this.
Helping others helps me heal for sure.
Yeah.
What has happened these past few months is, I don't know if the world has brought it to me or if I just started paying attention maybe, but I'm running into a lot of adults who are exiting the foster care system. And I'm running into a lot of adoptee adults who
Yeah.
who were adopted as children, and their resentment and their anger towards the adoptive parents. You know, children want their biological parents, so I'm learning a lot about the children's perspective.
Right. Are they upset because the adoptive parents know how much that your parents want you back, but they shun that away and they keep that from you? Is that what they're finding out? Or is it because they're being denied? They just didn't tell them that they were adopted or whatever. But I would think it's more or less that they knew that I wanted my daughter, you wanted your children, and they weren't giving them back to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Or
That's
they weren't even given like the card, you know.
right.
Any attempts that the biological parent made were cut off by the adoptive parents, and there's a lot of resentment.
Wow. Man,
And
it's so sad.
and-
It's so
and
freaking.
yeah,
It's so hard.
wondering who they are.
Yeah, that's the other thing is they lose their identity. Like if especially if they're little. Like I feel so bad. I feel so bad for these babies that are getting taken from their families, and will never, if their parents opt not to tell them or their adoptive parents opt not to tell them what was going on, they will never know who they are. Sickness wise, heritage wise, any of that stuff, they'll never know. We have a guy that we were friends with. He just passed away recently, but he didn't know who he was till he was 45 years old. They got dropped on him that he was adopted at the age of 45, that he found out his parents his whole life, that he thought were his parents. They decided to, for whatever reason, tell him that he was adopted at 45 and destroyed his world. They just destroyed him. And I think that's part of him passing away. I think it broke his heart. He didn't know who he was. He thought he was living a lie. At this point now, what was real, what wasn't? He wasn't even who he thought he was. So that's tough, But as far as the resentment goes with the children that you're seeing, how deep does it go? Are we talking deep, dark resentment, or are we just talking about hey, I'm pissed at you? How far does this resentment travel with some of these kids?
Not that deep, not that dark, not that I've seen. These
Right.
kids are amazing. These kids are very resilient. These kids, they see the light, so they're not letting it consume them.
Right.
That this generation of kids, I think, is wonderful. I have a lot of hope and faith in them, and so
Right.
they're vocalizing and sharing and expressing, and then they're moving on with their daily life. They're not like this,
We're not
Yeah.
sitting back
right?
and
And I
dwelling
think
in
that's
it.
amazing.
Do you think that's because they've done a lot of the healing process already in their day-to-days, the life that they're living? Because where they've known that they were taken, most of them understand and realize that their parents, it wasn't their parents' fault. And how do they view their parents? Do they want to know when they? I mean, obviously you don't know all these answers, but this is just a question I have. But do they want to know who their parents really were, and they miss that relationship between them, or is it for their own sake, just to see what could have been, or what do you see in there in that aspect?
I haven't seen one child not want to dive into who their parents were and every little detail about them that they can absorb.
Right. Well, that's good to know. I mean, that's a positive out of this negative situation. That's positive thinking for everybody that's missing on their children. So that's positive. And then here's my one more question for you that I know whatever. Do you feel like there's a cutoff age where you got to really make the decision as the parent and be like, okay, my son's been with this person for 15 years now. Do I go and try to take them back from them? Do I approach this separately? You know, like especially with babies, you know, like that never knew those parents. Is there a point where the parent? I mean, I listen. I'm under the. That's always your kid. You do whatever you got to do. That's your child. That's my opinion. But on the same hand, at what point does it become what you're doing? What like CPS did, you know, by going in and taking your kid back from them and taking them out of a good home, you know, like, or if it was a good home or a place, you know.
For me personally,
Yeah.
my two youngest children, I don't think I'm going to try to get back.
Right.
Where I'm at right now, that's where I'm at. I don't
Right.
want to disrupt their lives.
Right.
As a parent, we have to do what's best for our kids. And I don't know if I'm what's best for my two youngest kids anymore.
I
They were
understand that.
so young, I don't know if they remember me. So
Right. No, we have the same. My wife and I have that same discussion all the time. You know, like what, you know, are we? This is one thing too that parents, I get it. We all love our kids and everything, but that's so unselfish for you to say that. And I think that that's the one thing that we need to look at before we make these moves. Like, are we prepared to go back into being a parent? Are we ready for that right now? Like, if they drop your child off at the doorstep, could you hit the ground running and be a positive influence for them? From, you know, like, you've got to be honest with yourself. You know, like, you can't. It's not fair to them now, because they've done a lot of damage to us too. Like, you know, they've changed our lifestyles. You know, some of us have maybe not chosen the right paths to go down. You know, or maybe they've fallen back into, you know, old habits or whatever. But I mean, there's a lot of bad things that happen to us as parents when CPS comes and takes our kids. You know, so I mean, there definitely needs to be a 2-minute warning. I'm sure for most of us, but and especially for some people, you know, like these kids are coming in 45 days. Get your shit together. You know what I mean? Like, if that's possible, you know.
with my two youngest, what I am doing, and I have the
Yeah.
petition laying on my dresser, it's a post-adoption communication petition, you know.
Okay, cool.
And I may not be what's best for my two youngest to parent, but I 100% believe that they need to know the truth and know that I exist and know that I'm making these attempts to connect with them in some sort of way.
And they need to know that you weren't a bad mom. First and foremost.
The court cannot deny my love and support towards my children. I may not get custody of my two youngest, but I should be
Right.
able to support them and connect with them.
Right. Yeah, that's what you, and you know what? That's a great option to have. You know, like to be able to do that. And I mean, would you be from afar, or would you put yourself like up in a jockeying position so they'd be like, "Oh, hey, it's your mom," and I'm just sitting back here like watching, or have you not even gotten to that point where you've even thought of that?
I would have to totally submit to the adoptive parents and go by
Right.
their boundaries and what
Yeah.
they think is best.
And that's where it gets tough.
I used to not. At one point, I could never have done that, but
Right.
now I know I can because
So,
I want
it's
my
so
kids to
exciting.
be
It's so
able to get-
scary.
Mhm.
You know, like
It
it's
is.
to where this is going to go or what is going to become of it, and so on and so forth. You know, like we just don't know
Yeah.
where it's gonna lead, where it's
But we got to do something so we don't keep happening to other kids and other families.
yeah, that's right. You know, unfortunately, some of us have to be the sacrificial lambs, I guess, if you will. You know, like so this doesn't happen to anybody else, because this is enough, and enough is enough. You know, and if we don't do anything about it now, I don't think anything will ever be done. Like now is the time for this movement to happen. But all
I
right,
don't know
Sam,
if
well,
Danielle is here, but Danielle doing that chat GPT with the 8 questions and then it's writing the affidavit for all of us parents. I just wanted to tell her, or somebody give her the message. I said thank you.
yes,
It's made it so easy and amazing, and I'm grateful to her.
yeah, no, I will pass the message on. I'm sure she's not in the back right now, but Well, you know what? Everybody else left me. You want to do last thoughts with me?
Okay.
All right. Why don't you go ahead? You leave us your last thoughts, and I'll go after you, and we'll get out of here.
My last thoughts are: it's an honor to know you, Darren, and I love that we had this talk. And I remember I met you 3 years ago. I listened to your podcast all the way through. Something about your voice and your story and your love for your daughter, it impacted me. And I knew right then that you were the person I wanted to follow through this.
Oh, thank you, Sam. Thank you so much. That means a lot. It really does. Because, yeah, you know,
my final thought as parents, we do need to fight and move forward in some way and unite. Yeah.
All right.
Follow Darren.
All right, and no, Sam, thank you. That's awesome. That really does mean a lot. That really, really does. And my last thoughts are: if you are hurting in your heart and you need some help, get a hold of Sam and follow Sam, because she's she'll lead the way to making you feel better. And that's what she does, and that's what she does best, and that's what she loves to do. So. Get in touch with me or get in touch with her at Sam's Healing Journey, because you know what, we all have a bunch of healing to do, and no better person to do it with would be with Sam. So,
well, I believe that we can all heal ourselves, and I want to help guide people to that place, to that awareness.
And you will, but there's no better one to do it than you, Sam.
Good night, Darren.
All right, good night. All right, everybody. I'm the CPS Punisher, and we are out of here. Have a good night, everybody. Oh, God, every time. Every time. Come on. There we go. Sorry about that, guys.
The world getting crazy. Baby, chill. Don't meditate. Waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate. Look at what's going on. Let it resonate. Accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate. Separate and segregate. Don't celebrate quite yet. The storm is coming. Cue for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate. Instigate and penetrate. The values of our country and our God is what they desecrate. My fighters ain't no featherweight. Pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate, and then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on these streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour and troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpents.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on, but chose to just neglect it. Deflected by some breaking news, oh, we just accept it. Expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objective, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, blind, not a sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take it on the cheap. Drink from a glass half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome opposition, or I'm gonna start resisting and then I'll pray for forgiveness.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now. We need you now. We need you now. We need you now. One day, one day, one day, I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
When I began this battle, my soul was so damn fragile. I was looking at life through a fog. I lost my baby girl and they killed my dog. I was laying on the bottom feeling sad, thinking about doing bad things, raging fucking mad. I couldn't understand why I was chosen. Then it led to my rage and explosion. I am the one who can make this better. It's my job to make things right. I need to pick myself up. It's time for my biggest fight. Wrap your kids in the Bible. Wrap your kids in the flag. CPS is from the devil. Y'all know that it's a fact. I'm a father that went to jail. I cherish my daughter. It was nothing when they come for her and me. There should have been a slaughter. Stand with us. Make parenting great again. Abolish CPS. Ambush with the black SUVs. They come armed, they came for me, and they came for her. Stand with us, make parenting great again, abolish CPS. They took her from me, she's across the state. Gone for a year now, taken away. All these people who have written me off, I'm here to show my face and tell you you're wrong. I never was as good as you, and for the record we know that's not true. I'm not trying for a comparison. How dare you, you're embarrassing. I don't wanna be as good as anyone else. I fight this battle, I fight for myself. I am the one who can make this better. It's my job to make things right. I need to pick myself up. It's time for my biggest fight. I don't care about your judgment, I'm glad you gave us this test. But when your life is over, will your heart sleep quietly in your chest? I've got more life to live. As a matter of fact, it's just beginning. I've been given a challenge and my daughter is waiting. It's a fight I can't walk away from, a new life we are creating. So why you sit there mouth full of hating? Be sure my mind is planning on invading. I've got a war to fight and I'm on. I won't give up, I need to win, this is bigger than you. I don't expect you to understand, I am the one who can start over. It's my job to make things right. I need to pick myself up. It's time for the
stories of our families once told by the ones on front of the fire growing old, sharing light on the greatness they created. Everyone listening to every word, no hesitation. The pride you learned of the name you had, it taught you that you were something, never feel bad. You knew the trials and tribulations it took to make you. Your aunt, your uncle, you always knew who was who. Who was who. CPS, when they take the kids away, erase the heritage of the children they have gotten pay. These children don't know where they begin. They sure know the outcome, the end. CPS, you're destroying the family. You think you're making things better. These kids don't know who they are. They will never. In a blink of an eye, you eliminate what's theirs to cherish. There is no imminent danger great enough to annihilate the name of a family and those that it consummate. How dare you take away such an honor for you to get a bonus and arise so much drama. Our kids, their lives erased away. Never will they know who paved the way. They are left empty to never hear the story, who their grandparent were, the sad times and the glory. CPS, walk away. CPS, not today. Please, we beg you, leave the kids alone. God bless you. How do you think you are, helping things out? You're causing more pain and agony, without a doubt. Why do you want to be the eraser of a family past given by the Creator? CPS, why do you play the role of God while so many families are truly breaking the law, inflicting harm throughout the night? The children are scared to turn out their lights. So go away, don't ever come back. Go away, I want my parents, that's that. I don't belong in a stranger's bed, thinking all night, memories in my head of the only love I once had. It was from my mom and dad. Now I lay alone, listening to strangers fight, never hearing the words I love you, good night. So good job, CPS, you really helped me. Now I'm scared, I'm alone, I don't know who I am. I've been cast away. If I'm lost, no one knows. There is no family to find me. CPS took that away, it's all behind me. When I go to bed every night, I close my eye tight. And through the tears I see my mom and dad, wishing they were here. I am so sad. You ruined my life, who gave you that right? My family loved me, they all said goodnight. Now I'm truly alone, nothing to be happy about, no place to call home. All I know is the time of day. CPS, just go away.